This video demonstrates how to check current BMC and ASIC firmware versions on the CN5000 Switch, download packages from the customer center, and perform safe updates. Note: update BMC first if doing both. Access the CN5000 Switch via SSH or serial console, then log in with administrator credentials. Type firmware version or firmware to display currently installed firmware. For example, BMC at 12.02 and ASIC at 12.0. Note there are two separate chips for the BMC and the ASICs. Type firmware update S to list dual images for BMC and ASIC, showing which is active. For example, image 2 booted for both. Go to customercenter.cornelis.com, select the latest release, for example, 12.02, and download CN5000 BMC firmware and CN5000 Switch Firmware PKG files. Before performing the firmware update, be sure to review the release notes, fabric installation guide, commands guide, and maintenance troubleshooting docs. Download firmware packages. Accept terms. To update firmware, a network connection is required. You cannot update firmware using a serial connection. To initiate a firmware update via AC real connection, but the actual data must be transferred to the switch via the network, such as SCP, or NFS share to transfer the package file to a switch. Type firmware update and specify the file path on the NFS share. Enter host password when prompted. Run firmware update status S repeatedly. BMC copies PKG temporarily and begins update, for example, image 1 updating. Be patient. Do not reboot during this. When status shows staged for update or complete, run reboot force to activate the new firmware. Verify with firmware version to confirm the updated levels.